No cap. To be capped up.
10 o'clock on the gram, no you should check me. Here for an hour, I promise this talk is heavy. I'm cooking, just get it started, don't go asking if it's ready. I'll be damned like we about to break a levee. I swear, all of this content push my conscience to a beautiful dark, twisted fantasy. I'm a monster, my posture looking like we was winning Oscars. Far from an act, but still acting like we got sponsors. Define us by the work we do, you know the work of few. Willing to get down in the trenches for the perfect view. So if you at me, then be sure to mention purpose too. And alignment, we own it, far from consignment. I seen the light, it was blind to contribute this all the time. Let it breathe till you find it. Get fresh, then set the table for guests. I told you that we was cooking, this compliments to the chef. Let's go.
Let me just take it out. All right. Boom.
Good morning, creators, and welcome to another episode of Cooking the Late Night. I am your host, Cook, and as always, I'm gonna bring you the best in creative community, man. We talking ownership, we talking opportunity. We wanna make sure we make a way for ourselves. Today, we have an amazing show lined up for you guys. I mean, we gotta talk hustle today, right? Because we're gonna have this hustle itself in the building. Krystal Garner is gonna be checking in with us shortly. I'm excited to have her on. As always, though, you know we gotta cook up, right? So, without further ado, we're gonna bring my guy 3 Commas to the stage. 3 Commas, what's going on, good sir? Oh, I think you switched up on me on the. Yeah, we hear you now. We live in the direct. How you feeling?
I can't hear you right now. My computer's acting up.
I don't know sign language.
I'm gonna see if I can figure it out. I'm not sure what happened since in the last couple minutes.
No worries. Hey, it happens to the best of us, man. We keep swimming, right?
Hang on.
Awesome.
Why don't I hear anything? Oh, all right. Well, I'll just introduce myself.
Take your time.
I'm 3 Commas. I'm a producer out of Baltimore. All right. Okay. So y'all can hear me. All right. Cool. Yeah. I'm glad to be back. I was on here months ago, but yeah. I'll just be making something today. I'm not sure what yet, but we'll see what comes out. And
hey, we here for it.
Yeah.
Dope. All right, well, look, we're going to let you cook up, and we're going to tap in with you soon. We're going to get the audio together, too, to make sure that we can hear you and rock out fully. All right, bro? All right, man. I'll see you soon. All right, look. So we gonna figure out what's going on the comment side to make sure that he can hear us and that we can rock out together, because when I tell you he has heat, he has heat. One of my favorite coming out of Baltimore, talented artist, talented guy. But without further ado, I know why you all are here. I'm not gonna waste your time on live any longer. Would like to bring to the stage Miss Krystal Garner, aka KG. Let's bring KG to the stage. Hey, on any block? You really rock on any block?
Any block.
Okay, I like that. First off, how are you? How are you today?
I am beyond blessed and very highly favored. Happy to be alive. Happy to be here. How are you today?
You know what? I'm the same energy, same time over here. Blessed, highly favored. Excited for this conversation. I know you you got the streets a lot. So to get you for a second, it's big. So we appreciate you here on the show.
No problem.
Awesome. Well, look, I know a lot of people may know you from just various parts, but please, for a split second, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are for those who might not be familiar.
Well, if you're unfamiliar, I am Krystal Garner, also known as KG. I'm currently the general manager at Trap Music Museum in Atlanta. I am also the winner of BET's The Grand Hustle. I am a former hustler from the streets of NYC, and now hustling here in Atlanta. No, I'm just joking. I'm just hustling in general. The hustle never stops. It never sleeps. I'm a creative. I'm creating, and I'm happy to be on a creative morning show.
Look, because creatives usually wake up in the nighttime. Like, that's when we start working. That's when our brains start clicking and we start to make moves. to get out of whatever we were doing in the daytime. So this is that moment for us to get on our feet. So glad to have you here. So Krystal, you have like a very like extensive journey, right? I mean, New York, even New Jersey, which we're not going to talk about how you from New Jersey. We're not going to talk about that. But let's start from the collegiate level. Like, what was it like for you just getting in this space, like in terms of just on this path?
Yeah, I mean, so collegiate wise, when I went into college, it was just like, I'm gonna do everything I need to do in this space because it costs so much. I just didn't understand why would I just go ahead and just learn academically. I wanted to learn so much more. I wanted to learn from my peers. I wanted to learn from my experiences. I just wanted to do anything and everything I can do. So I was an RA, I was SGA president, captain of the basketball team, captain of the cross country team, president of the student athlete advisory committee. Of course, I pledged Alpha, Kappa Alpha sorority, incorporated, and yes,
I see. I was not rep your set. Rep your set. Rep your squad. Wait, but hold on, because we seen you on the court like this here. We seen that you had like look at the face you done gave the opponent. Like you don't play, like you was on the court for real.
She was stressed though. You see the hand on her head, like, God dang, she keep boxing me out.
Yo, like honestly, she might be a meme in 2020. Like, black women going forward. We gonna do that later. But I mean, you put in a lot in terms of like just school wise. Like you were about making the most of your dollars, but creating that opportunity for yourself. Like, where did that hustle kind of begin for you?
Okay, I'm gonna give you the truth and the media answer. No, I'm just joking. No, but overall, the experience of college for me was, when I got there, I realized my purpose in life was to help others. So everything that I got involved with was to help others or to build up others, and that's why I always got pushed into leadership roles because it was just about the team for me. It was just all about unity, building, growing, and scaling from a young age. But it really, really started, it was twofold. First and foremost, basketball. Ball is life. I tore my ACL. When I was younger, you couldn't tell me anything. I was like, I'm going to play in WBA. If they don't want me, I'm going overseas. I don't care. I'm playing somewhere. That's all it was for me. And when I tore my ACL, it was like, okay, what else do you get at, KG?
All right, well, so plan A. Let's just switch gears real quick.
What else can I do? And just from the experience of hooping and being in that competitive lifestyle, that gave me that hustle and that drive and that grind. Aside from just growing up in the hood and having a hustle and grind, but just being in that space professionally, meaning like an actual basketball game with refs and not me playing street ball with no refs and people fouling and not calling a foul and get mad if I call a foul. So, and doing that.
What part of New York are you from, by the way?
Wu-Tang, say something smart.
Strong Island.
No, that's Long Island. I'm Staten Island.
I'm sorry, the wrong island. My bad. I apologize. That's on me.
Yeah, I forgive you. I still love you. But no, for real, it was that. So then I did network marketing for a little bit, and I know there's a lot of negative connotations when you hear people doing network marketing. Oh, it's a pyramid scheme and it's a cult or it doesn't work and it's a scam. But for me, being a young girl, tearing my ACL and getting into that hustle, it brought me to different places that I've never would have visited. I went to motivational workshops. I started reading books to focus on my mindset. It made me a stronger person to be able to work with anybody. I can work with anyone.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think, like that trajectory, like even as, our research department, just me, we got together, we figured some things out and just looking at some things that you were doing, like, even like you had leadership roles down in New Orleans as a liaison, like, and those type of activities, those types of actions. So you always found yourself taking those forward positions. And so coming out of college, right? What did opportunity look like for someone who always did step up to the plate? Like, was it instantly like this here, options on the table? Or did you kind of have to figure it out when you got out of school?
Oh, I had to figure it all the way out. and it was frustrating and it was difficult. Coming from being a leader and on this high horse and just living a specific lifestyle and doing things a certain way and focusing on your mind and building and getting out the hood and grinding and being that person that's breaking generational curses, it was hard to go into an entry-level position in the workplace. And I did. And imagine me graduated college, going into this workplace, and I'm like, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this. Because I've always had that confidence. Yeah. But to go into a place, to go into corporate America, I was working at Madison Square Garden, entry-level sales position. And I just had can I say balls? I had all the balls. Like I literally just, no, I can't.
No, you can say whatever. You can say absolutely. You had them. You had them. They were on you. You had the bear.
Yeah. But it's because I had such a specific lifestyle prior, and it was very difficult to fall back. And at the same time, I really believe that it was purposeful that I didn't fall back, because me going into the room with my director and saying, well, I'm about to lock in this deal and it's gonna either make me a lot of money or it can make y'all a lot of money. And if it makes me a lot of money, you're gonna be upset because I only been here 3 months and you gotta pay me a shit ton of money. Or if it makes you a lot of money, you gotta promote me. So I get percentage based versus ticket based. And even like that, I kind of gave that little, ultimatum. It was just like, I'm about to sign this deal. You have me calling 40 people a day to broker these ticket sales. Now I got an opportunity where I'm about to capitalize on someone doing it for me. I was about to have it wholesale, kind of like living social, but it was called Life Booker. I was about to book a whole thing with them, and he did not like that. So he fired me. He said I averaged 39 calls a day and not 40. And the HR manager was a woman, and she was like, "This is bull. If you have the highest sales in the department, it doesn't make sense why you're getting let go. But you could apply for something else in the company if you want to. I'll look out for you." And I was just like, all right, whatever. But that's what catapulted me into the ambiance of I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a person that will not be disrespected. Yes, I'm a Black woman, but you will hear me and you'll pay me what I'm worth. And that's when it started right then. It was like, okay, I'm done. And yes, it was hard and it was difficult. And looking back, there are some things I could have did better, but everything happened the way it was supposed to happen so I could be who I am today.
No, you pretty much turned into like James St. Patrick. You're like, look, I got the whole plan, the playbook about to come through. I'm about to bring it on the book. Like you was the original Ghost. I get it now. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. And so talk about like Mitch. Like that was the first. I don't want to say the first because you constantly betted on yourself. But I guess professional version of betting on yourself, right? Like you're like a whole grown. You're an adult. Like you're responsible for things. And so you take that risk, right? And then I want to know like the gap from that risk to this moment being from New York for you. And I want to reference this. Because I think that's fire. Like you went from working at Madison Square Garden to on a billboard down the street. Like what was that like?
Powerful because I went full-fledged into the entertainment career. I went full-fledged into acting, modeling, emceeing, radio personality, all that. I went full-fledged into that world. And you get 1,000 no's before you get one yes. And that was pre just create your own content. That was when you had to be on somebody's platform.
You had to be stamped, right?
you just had to get booked. And it was very, very difficult. And I was like, all right, it's getting a little hard. Bills aren't getting paid. Your food is becoming scarce. I'm about to get an OD job. And I was already doing some side hustle stuff here and there, waitressing, bartending, and all that. And an opportunity came to work for Norwegian Cruise Line in Hawaii as a restaurant manager. And I would have to live in Hawaii, but I would be on a ship that circled Hawaii. And I just got my TWIC card. So that means I was about to officially be on the water.
Yeah.
I did this. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I did this ad, and it was not paid, but it was for American Heart Association. There you go, the HH. American Heart Association, and I just liked what it stood for. So I said, okay, I'll do it, but they didn't tell me where it was gonna be. They just said, oh, it's a small ad, and it was like Star Jones is doing it, and I was like, okay, sure. They just liked my afro. I was like, okay, fine. I did it, and when I did it, it popped up in Times Square and somebody sent it to me. I didn't even know. And that was just a moment of, you're about to make a mistake going into another job that's not going to allow you to be out here in these New York streets, grinding, hustling for opportunities. So that's a monumental picture because I didn't even get paid for that moment. Like, it wasn't about a check. It was about, for me, it was about the opportunity to be in this campaign. And that campaign ended up skyrocketing my career because once at that time, it wasn't that easy to get a billboard at Times Square or to see a woman that looked like me with an afro, a billboard at Times Square. So that was monumental, powerful, and that's what skyrocketed everything. That was the icing on the cake. Like, I was like, all right, sis, you just gonna have to struggle for as long as you need to.
Right. Like, and then you book yourself to go on a cruise later. Like, you don't gotta work it. Go enjoy the cruise later. But look, there's so many pieces of that I think, are important because, like, talk about alignment, right? Like, not even in the sense of just opportunity and you visibly see it and you're like, oh, this aligns, I see the whole way through. It was just literally off the humble, like, I'll do this because it resonates with something for me. And whatever it becomes, it becomes. What was that, I'm sure earlier in your career, or just throughout your career, like, what went into those decisions on aligning with other opportunities? Because I think that's something that a lot of people aren't necessarily sure what to do when they find themselves jumping at every opportunity.
That's a hard one because I definitely started out with the quantity over quality mindset. And everyone will always preach to you as quality over quantity. But that's always been beneficial to me because at that time, the industry was very, very picky. So for me, it was any opportunity I got, I wanted to take and show that I can kill it, that I was great at it, that I can achieve it. And then it got to a point in my career where I had to make the switch. I had to switch over and start paying attention to the kinds of opportunities that I was taking versus all of the opportunities. And I think it became that way only because as I got older, I had certain morals and certain values that I just wouldn't go against. Like, I wouldn't do, and I've been offered, I wouldn't do a cigarette ad, but I've been offered to do stuff like that. But in the beginning, probably would I have done it for a quick little check? Maybe. But then I got to a point where I said, my resume speaks for itself. You're booking me for a reason. So I'm going to make sure now it aligns with who I am as a person, and I'm not just doing it for a check and a quick look. But I had to be in the weeds first, like, oh.
Yeah. No, it's a process, right? Like, it's not instantaneous. It's not just, hey, I want a model, but I'm only taking 6-figure gigs. Like, you can't come out the gate like that. Like I'm sure it'd be nice. But I mean, there's also that work ethic that's required in building your character in this industry too, right? Because you want to find yourself in a space where you appreciate the opportunities, you know what works for you, but most importantly, that you have the skill set and are prepared for the things that are offered to you too. So, like, what stage was that for you once you, in fact, getting there, right? And that moment pivots and things change and you turn down the cruise. What's the next step for you after that? Like, you're like, okay, I need to be here, but how do I get where I need to be, where I'm compensated for what I'm doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe at that moment, that's when I really started to research the industry and work on my craft and find different ways to still be in that world, but it could be in a different part of it. Yeah. So it became okay, I mean, I have a bunch of modeling gigs, but let me be a promo model and work for these liquor brands or these products. Let me be a brand ambassador, work these activations, get to know people, network. So it became, I became obsessed with my craft. I ate, slept, breathed my craft. You could not, when you went to my social media, my goal was that you looked at my page and you was like, okay, I need a model. I know KG does. I need an actor. I know KG does. I need a correspondent. I know KG does. I need to book models to work in activation. That's when I also started to leverage my relationships. Now I was like, okay, I'm at all these events. I have all these models in my phone. Now it's, here's my finder's fee to book these people for you. So now it's starting to elevate and scale within that industry. So now it still happens when people hit me up and say, hey, do you know anybody that can do this? Yep. My Rolodex is phenomenal. And I charge that to the game, because if I wasn't in these streets, if I wasn't at every single event in New York, I went, like, seriously, bro. It became to the point where it's like, I think I created the word socialite because I wasn't even tired. Like, I'm tired thinking of it, but I wasn't tired. I went like 6 events a day. But it also became a lifestyle where I knew certain events I would go to, they would have a meal, like some activation, like, no, for real, because I'm making money, but I still need to eat. And then I knew this place had an open bar event. Like, I literally would make my day schedule based on what activations weigh more as far as food, beverage, and who will be in the room.
Wow. Yo, see, and you know what was really dope for me and seems like, and again, and you know what? I would love to reference like this commencement speech that you had. Like, we can pull up this video because this is
to you, the president of Borough Manhattan Community College student. To you, the president of Borough Manhattan Community College Student Government Association president, Ms. Krystal Garner.
So, I mean, and it cut off a little soon where it got to the point where you just start, right? Like your messaging, what you stood for, like coming out of that was just start. And it's what I'm hearing and what you're saying now. Like, you was in these streets like, yo, I just need to be, I just need to do it. Like, no, I'm not going to just tag someone. It's like, oh, you need that? I'm going to start that. So that mindset, like, it's a fire one. So when was this, like, now that you started leverage, you making moves in this industry, what made you like say, you know what? I want to go on a show. Like, well, like, how do we get there? Because you were already the man in these streets, if we're going to keep it above.
Yo, it's crazy. So at that time when I got offered the opportunity for the show, so pretty much I still was auditioning. Anything I worked in, it still was making sure that I had the opportunity to be who I am naturally. And I always said if I ever did a reality show, it would be something like I Want to Work for Diddy. Because I was super upset when that show came out. I was like, why did I know about this? If I was on it, I would have won. But my friend was on it, Mike Barber, and he actually did prepaid legal with me. So we had the same mindset. Yeah, we had the same mindset of just being an ultimate hustler and a grinder, find a way, make a way type of people. Like I always reference, and that could maybe be asking me about how I want to show, then I'll bring that up. But I was working for Diageo, right? And I was in a unique position as a Black woman working in the liquor industry. And I was top 10 in the country as a marketing rep, #1 in New York as a marketing rep. And I had to make the decision to leave my job where basically I got people drunk for a living. I had a corporate Amex and I got to go swipe at my accounts, and I still could go to my auditions. I could still act, I could still model, I could still host. I still have my radio show at Madison Square Garden, which is crazy. It all comes full circle. And I freaking had to quit because I asked for a leave of absence and they denied it. And I said, well, there's an opportunity for me to scale even more. So if I need to go broke going after this opportunity, I'm going to do it because I've been broke before and I survived. So I can do it again. And I did it. And I was broke after we filmed the show. I came back home. I had to wait a year for it to come out. And that was stressful. But
wait, did you knew you won for a whole year and you just had to chill. You had to be low.
I had to chill. And then I couldn't like really get a steady income because I knew I was going to have to quit. And I don't like to ruin relationships. So I was just like, that's smart though. I mean, I get it. I get it now. But man, that must have been a tough sacrifice. And so like, but again, like even your connections kind of played into the show, right? Like looking at that final round, it's like bring in your friends, bring in the people that's going to help you. And you like bet, like this squad will get it done. So talk about winning for you. Like what was that moment? Because you've consistently elevated and become a leader. But to gain that, and there was one clip on your page that I just let show, I won't take the audio from you. But it's T.I. talking about like how you earned your spot. Like talk about just winning this and what that was. First of all, the fact that he told Snoop Dogg that I earned it, I was just like, whoa. Oh my God. But it was definitely a thing for me. Like it was a thing because I had to risk it all. Like I've risked a lot before, but I had to risk it all. Like comfortability, steady income, just that cushion. I had to risk it all for that moment. And what happened was when I found out that we weren't gonna have our phone for 2 months, I think this is pretty much how I kind of went. When I found out we weren't gonna have our phone for 2 months, I took my notebook and wrote down all my contacts that I knew were in Atlanta or that I knew could possibly help me in the show in the back of my notebook. So that when we got there and they gave us a phone line to use, everybody's like trying to figure out how they could reach their people. I just opened up, I was like, pen and paper, old school.
Yo, I mean foresight and preparation, right? Like that's dope. And the thing is with what you've done and how you've executed this, you've consistently like just kind of thought of the next stage and adding value and bringing value, right? Like even in those parts you were talking about earlier, and I think this is important for anyone as a creative, understand your value in any space in a room. Like you walk in a space and you're like, you know what? I got my Rolodeck that it go up against any Rolodeck you could probably bring out on the table right now. And I think like just the delivery of that. So taking that and then propelling yourself to this victory, what was it like watching and waiting and talking to people, like trying to tell them not telling the outcome for the whole year? Like, nah, I don't know if I won. I get cut first day. Like, what was that?
Even worse than that. So we filmed it 2017. Mm-hmm. It came out 2018. Mm-hmm. So the hard part was prior to it coming out. One, explaining to people why I disappeared for 3 months and was I did something. And then when commercials coming out, like, oh my God, you did a show. Did you win? And I'm like, I can't. I'm on gag order. Like, can I say anything? So I had to play like I don't know what's going on every time, but I also had to like engage and live tweet with fans. It was a blessing and honor. But watching the show back, seeing how they edited, one, I was pissed off. They left out all my funny moments. I was like, I'm definitely gonna get like a comedy series after this. Also, they also left out all my amazing cooking. I cooked for the cast every night because we had 24-hour surveillance. They cut out everything. I was like, I was gonna get a little chef show. Something.
Wow, they took up all your next moves.
Hello, but overall, when I look at it from the way they edited it, it reminded me of Slumdog Millionaire. Mm-hmm. Because people are like, how did you win? How did you know something with every task? Because of that grind I had since I left college and was out here in these streets hustling. I worked so many different industries. I worked pop-ups. I worked random SOB shows with unknown artists that you had to promote. All the stuff that was in the show, I already did before.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's not, and that's real. Again, experience always outweighs the lack of trying and attempts, right? Yeah. And so, like, yo, you win. And now you gave up on us in the New York area. You in Atlanta now, like you just changed. You know what I mean?
They stole me.
I don't see no resistance. You look real comfortable over there.
I'm not in the hood anymore, bro. I'm not in the hood anymore.
Hey, better days. This is what we work for. And then talk about just again, because I want to. Your journey's so extensive and there's so much I want to get to, but I do want to make sure I bring light to the current things, like how Trap Museum, like talk about from everything that you've done. You're a general manager over one of the more culturally and the most culturally important museum that we could ask for in the South. What is that like for you?
Oh man, this is probably what I asked for. When you're like, Jane of all, I can do it all. This was okay, do it all moment. I'm transitioning from New York City and coming into a Southern environment. It was very difficult. I had to learn how to not start my text messages off with telling people what's going on and what we're doing to, good morning, how's your day? That was
now you're
I always look at text messages as a continuous conversation. So I would go with messages and like, and they're like, well, hello, Krystal, good morning. I'm like, oh, okay. So, just transitioning to get that feel and understanding of how the South moves. And then also, the South always has something to say. So just always dealing with them coming for me because I'm from New York City. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, guys, for what happened in the past, but I'm here to bridge,
Right. Like, I mean, I didn't put them disc records out. I just liked them. I just played them. That's all. That's it.
I didn't even know they were dissing you guys. I'm sorry. No, stop. But no, for real. It was very embracing and very Black. Atlanta is something that I've never seen before. So in New York, yes, I have my contacts, my network, people that I can reach out to. But here, when I go into meetings and high-level offices and major companies, they look like me. And that is beautiful. That is awesome. And I utilize just my art of networking and coupled with the opportunity to be able to be in these high-level rooms to the best of my ability. And that's why Trap Music Museum is super successful. Myself, along with my team, we utilize our network. We make sure that it's genuine to the culture and that we're doing something for the community. And we just execute.
Yeah, y'all do it. And in fact, speaking of execution, we'll just show like this video of like y'all newest installation. Like y'all got a little pipe video. We want to drop. Let the people see real quick. Tune in for a second. Make sure we got. Hey.
Yeah, keeping on the floor, my yeah.
The camera won't even know. Let me know when you're back home. Almost caught it. TikTok. Let me get this. I got this one. Hey, Renegade. Let's get all that.
I know how to TikTok.
Hey, no, that's lit. No, trust me. I seen it. I was like, I ain't gonna do that to her on an interview, but she be talking and ticking. I seen it.
You know what I'm saying?
But congrats on the newest installation.
Yes. Happy birthday, Future. Congrats on your new album. Trap Music Museum, our goal is to keep it innovative, keep it genuine. We didn't even know. We've been doing this for months. We didn't even know he was dropping an album. We didn't know it was going to be called Pluto. It was just like the universe was in sync with us in our thought process and our creative group. Shout out to Rich Bazaar. He did his thing. Our on-site set designer. Our creative team, we did our thing. Like, we really sat there for months to figure out how we could keep it innovative and new. We already had a floating wall of Future, but we transitioned into making an actual exhibit for him. And that's our goal with the museum. We want to have that retention. We want to keep you coming back. It's not that I went there one time and took one picture on the pink car. It's the, oh, snap, they just did this. They just did that. They got AR, VR, like all this stuff. That is our goal, is to constantly keep it innovative and up with the times, to keep up with the Joneses, so people can keep coming back. We a vibe.
Yo, honestly, like, when outside open up for me, I want to come down because it's open up for y'all. But y'all got a different outside than I got in DC. I don't trust it just yet. But I mean, for just this continual thread of alignment for you, like I don't know if you just got like a good eye for picking the betting on the right horse and just running with it. But I mean, I do wanna acknowledge that as creatives, like not every idea is going to hit it out the park. So for yourself, how do you prioritize what entities or what visions do you follow through on and really kind of jump into?
I honestly really feel that it starts with the fact that what you put in the universe, you'll get out. So just constantly putting in positivity, constantly putting in growth, constantly putting in opportunity, bringing other people to have a seat at the table, other Black women to scale and grow. I think that's the main reason why things are coming out the way they are. And as far as prioritizing which creative idea, it really wheedles itself out. That's not even a word. Because it's just, I'm so passionate with people just creating. Like, I don't want to say just throw something on the back burner. Just constantly create, and some things will move forward faster than others. And that's what you focus and prioritize on, is the one that the universe is aligning with. And that's kind of what happened with the Future exhibit with us, because it was like, we didn't know when we were unveiling. We were going to do it this week. We were going to do it that week. Then Future was out of town. Then he said he possibly was going to be there. Then he couldn't. And it just so happens like, all right, we're going to do it Friday. Like just randomly.
Yeah.
It's his birthday. I was like, what?
It's lit. It's big lit.
So, it's just a matter of constantly be creating. ABCs, always be creating. If you're always creating, the things that are getting more energy that the universe is putting into it is the ones that's going to prevail. And yes, some ideas fail, some ideas don't come to fruition, and I know that the world is a highlight reel and everyone only sees the good, but understand, not easy at all. That's why this morning show is at night. I don't sleep.
Right.
I really don't sleep. Everyone talking about, dang, I didn't really do much 2020. I'm over here like, bro, as soon as we shut down, we had to switch to virtual and focus on social and pushing merch and shift and change and adapt. I couldn't sit still. It was all about how do I adapt to this change and how do we scale and grow from this situation? And then how do we prepare for when the world actually opens back up? How do we make sure that we have protocols in place, that we have tools, sanitizer, thermometers, masks, testing staff? What's our protocol? What happens if someone calls out sick? You have to come back with it. Like, it's just so much planning that went through quarantine that I'm sitting here like, dang, y'all got to watch all the shows? Like Netflix ran out of shows for you? I'm still being like, dang, I want to watch it.
Like, dang, man. Shoot. And first and foremost, for anyone who Netflix run out a show for you, The Office is getting taken off of Netflix December 31st. Just keep watching it till then. Like, get you Netflix shows. That ain't even a promotion for them. Just get you right. You never watched The Office? Hey, cut this. Huh?
Bro, when am I going to watch that?
You might not, but you gotta see like some clips and some. You know what? Your life, you probably didn't watch it because you was like 6 events back to back. But when you get a time,
this was tired.
You was like, I'm done with The Office. I don't want to see The Office. I'm past it. No, all right, well, I'll give you some synopsis and some good like punchline jokes from the show whenever you gotta like run into somebody.
And no shade to anyone that had time to watch it because some people needed that time to regroup and refresh. So no shade. Just understand that some people, it literally was double work. I actually worked more during quarantine than outside of it.
But and that's valid, and I appreciate your acknowledgement of that because I think this time this 2020 has for everyone been what it's supposed to be for them. Yeah. Like if it was like a time where you needed to restore yourself, you had the opportunity to restore yourself in that moment. And then if it was a time where you wanted to push some passions and some creative grinds like this whole platform and show, we did it. We brought it to life. We did what we had to do because this is what it needs to happen. And so even including with you in the museum, and one thing that you said that I really appreciate was like, that good energy that you put out and manifest, like, giving back and speaking to women. One of the, in fact, let's go to the one clip of the her idea that you spoke about this, because I think this is just big in what you're speaking on.
It's scared to take the risk because black women, we like stability. But we are the fastest growing entrepreneur, but at the same time, we're all.
So the fastest growing entrepreneurs, like you were speaking to this on this platform. And so what is this relationship with the NAACP? Like you in these streets, like all the streets, like how do you manage all of this? And let's talk about the podcast and stuff first.
Yeah, no, her idea, when I was reached out to by NAACP, when my team was reached out to, our mindset was, I have to speak for those who that aren't in that place. And I always say, it's not about being the person or having a seat at the table. It's how many other people can you bring to that table with you. And it was an opportunity to work with the NAACP to shine a light on the fact that a lot of Black women have great ideas. And then when they get them out of their brain and actually start putting it to fruition, it's hard for them to be successful. It's hard for them to get loans. It's hard for them to get investors. It's hard for them to get access to knowledge just based on whatever specific industry they're in. It's hard. It's always harder. It's always harder for us. And it was an opportunity to provide tools, provide contacts, to provide information for Black women that are interested in being entrepreneurs, those who are entrepreneurs, those who are trying to scale, and those who are trying not to quit. But we quit so much. And we're also very stubborn. Like, I'm gonna keep it honest. A lot of times we'll have an idea and we don't want to share it with nobody or anybody. We don't want to ask anybody for help because our pride is like, I don't want to ask somebody for help. No, we need to get that caucasity. You need that caucasity. You need to be able to walk in a room and be like, hey, I got this idea. I need all 10 of y'all to invest in this. Need that caucasity.
Yo, first off, I love caucasity. New word added to my dictionary. Appreciate you. But even with this, you know, I just see it connected in so many ways. Just especially just, you know, looking into your journey a little bit more, because one thing that you even said in another interview, you spoke about, you know, how oftentimes we were educated to be employees. We were never educated to dream for ourselves. We were never educated to support our ideas. And so this is kind of that execution. It's like, hey, let me start to equip these women with the tools they need to actually build out the infrastructure of their dream and to maintain it. So to see like that other side of it and to partner with such a large organization, you know, where do you start to see like, all right, like the next stage for women in entrepreneurship being, or an opportunity coming?
So when do I see the next stage? Well, just even going back just to the NAACP or even Urban League, all of these organizations were created for the advancement of Black people. And for me, it's how often do you see that conversation, and no shade, but how often do you see that conversation having the sole focus on Black women, the most disrespected person in the world? And now that there are so many people that are starting to become members in these organizations, they're speaking up on things that we can be a part of. Not saying what's being done is not enough, but we can definitely do more. We can streamline it to make it specific to specific groups. We can streamline it to focus on young Black men who just got out of being incarcerated. That was definitely my charge to my laptop, and it hurt.
First of all right, now you just proved you were a New Yorker. Like, things get loud, you got hurt, and they do nothing. They ain't flex.
Yeah.
It's still in you. It's still in you. You still good.
Straight facts. But you know, you can streamline it to be very specific to different people within the Black community. Look at the different people and see who needs that attention and those resources that these organizations have access to. But it's also on us to actually join these organizations. We always be like, well, what do they do? What does this person do? I don't understand. I don't see them do. Join.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, it's a membership. You got a Netflix membership, you can have an NAACP membership. It's really that simple. It's just about which one do you care more about.
And which is also going, and which also is going to help you a little bit more, right? I mean, as much as I love to binge a show, it's not going to give me an opportunity until I can write something for Netflix, and then I'm gonna ask y'all to go watch it.
Yeah, no shade. You know, everyone's now starting to focus on Black creators and utilize Black creators, and I'm grateful for that. But understand that there are organizations that we also could be a part of that have these relationships and these connections, or there's people in those organizations that have these relationships and connections. So utilize what's been here and let's reshape it to the way it makes it palatable for us and those after us to actually want to join.
And so, you know, with where you are with, you know, Black creators and just opportunities, can we talk a little bit about BAM creative? Can we get BAM? Can we BAM it? You know, like,
sure.
so how did this venture come out for you? And please tell us a little bit about it for those who might not be familiar.
Absolutely. So with Trap Music Museum, we have so many different activations that get thrown our way, and we get opportunities from large companies that often are like, okay, well, we're going to hire this agency, and a lot of times they don't look like us, but we'll hire this agency to curate the relationship between the both of us and handle everything with the execution of the event. I've been doing event execution for way too long to have, you know, a company come and want to do something with me at the museum or any other place in our area, and it also gets a company that doesn't reflect the consumer that they are going after. So BAM Creative Branding and Marketing Creative Agency is that agency that reflects the consumer that a lot of these customers are interested in. And then it also is able to execute based on what the consumer wants because they have a pulse on the culture. So SVP over there, we just did most of the stuff that we do with the museum now. It's pretty much BAM Creative will kind of curate, organize, execute, communicate, manage budget, that part, project manage the whole thing. And the Trap Music Museum can just be the space, you know, because we're already stretched thin. So it's like that can be the space of where we do things instead of us trying to do everything, which we really, you know, it's kind of hard to. We can, but it's kind of hard to, versus a company calling in an agency to pay that doesn't even look like us to do it.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. It's funny because, like, you know, I mean, we saw it magnified during not the whole, but throughout the, you know, Black Lives Matter movement this year and everything that happened with Eric Garner, and my audio. Okay. Sorry about that. Siri, for some reason, thought I was talking to her. She cut me out. Now she want to listen. But, you know, we saw those things happening. And talk about Siri, the app, not the person. But now we talk about, like, you know, that, like, how many companies became tone deaf. And it's because they've reached out to an agency that was tone deaf. Like, you get what you get. And so, you know, finding yourself building this space for creatives and these opportunities that are coming out, like, how do you guys recruit creators? Like, what does that look like in a space like what you're building? Because I think it's amazing to have.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I come from agency life. When I worked for Diageo, I was working through an agency. Like, they, you know, it's very interesting. But coming from agency life, now it's trying to scale because we are getting opportunities. How do we recruit? Honestly, it's been referral based as of late, and it's mostly been referrals from larger companies, larger brands that have people that have worked in either an agency and they weren't getting the recognition they should have, or the ability to speak as much as they should be able to at the table. So it's now poaching and pulling those individuals. And then also it comes from, sometimes the company may have someone that's on their team, their brand team, that is like, hey, how do I come over here?
Hey, if you can check this note when you get home, just don't open it till you leave the building, please. We're available. Here's my resume.
That's
awesome.
That happens so much, though.
Imagine.
It's happened so much in this past week where it's like, hey, and I'm like, okay, like we're meeting and talking about doing something with a company, and then next thing you know, the person's like, if you're looking for anyone to do this, I also do this. And I'm like, okay.
You know, but now, I mean, honestly, I think because if you just look at the landscape of this year, a lot of people are trying to find their best interest in alignment in places. Like, now you don't want to just work for any company or any business. You want to find yourself in a space where you're working for a place that aligns with you, right? Because if your company can't say Black Lives Matter, do you really want to be a Black life in that company? Probably don't. Me personally, I boogied. I didn't want no parts. So, you know, I'm out. But, you know, but with that, and again, you know, I know I did a very quick run through of like an entire life work of yours in this conversation.
You did it the best so far. Everyone else has interviewed me, but it was just like, you know, I was like, dang, I felt.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That means a lot, and I just genuinely appreciate not just what you built after the show, but everything you've done before. It was kind of just the groundwork, and it's kind of just the resolve into who you were. And to see that pay off the way that it did for you, it's definitely inspiring. And so the one thing I do want to ask is the question I ask anyone who comes on the show. And this is a deep question, so bear with me, you know, if it hits a little home. But the idea is just, what does legacy mean to you?
Ooh, legacy. Okay, Reagan, don't get mad at me. I know I'm supposed to finish my book. Been busy.
I won't tell if you won't. It's a safe space.
Yeah, she's watching. But in the first chapter, I talk about, it's called Begin with the End in Mind. And I talk about, I give an activity, and the activity is to write your obituary. And that's something that I did when I was younger, in my early 20s. That's when I realized that my purpose in life was to help others. So Reagan is texting me. I see her.
She on your ass?
I know. She's like, I'm so over you, KG. But that activity is very, very important because you actually start to write down what you want people to remember you as, and understand that dash on your tombstone is when you were born and when you're no longer here. But that whole dash represents everything you've done in your whole life, and then that reflects on a piece of paper with your obituary, and that's just a lot. So legacy is just understanding that you are important, understanding that you were meant to be here, understanding that the world deserves you. And in order for them to know all of that, you have to truly figure out who you are and make sure you exude all your potential. Leave it all empty. Just take it all out of you. Just leave it out here on this earth and into this environment. That's what legacy is.
Yeah, that's a fire answer. And for anyone who is tapped in, one of the it's that reference you make is actually just interesting to me, because I was just at a conference one time, and they kind of just asked the question to the audience, what's the wealthiest place in the world? And you got all of them, Dubai, all of them things being referenced, and then he said it's actually the grave, because people die with their potential. They die with all that wealth, all that knowledge that they had that they never passed on. And so what you're saying is just another just nod to the fact that leave it here while you're here, because when you're going, it's going. Like that idea, that vision, the things that we are kind of offered and things we presented are for us to give to the world to provide opportunity for the next. It's never for us to keep for ourselves. So I genuinely thank you again for this time and interview. Please, how can we support you? What website should we go to? What other place should we visit? We got KrystalGarner.com down here, but where else should we go support you at?
Yes. Of course, support Trap Music Museum, support BAM Creative, support Reagan Farley. She's home team. And I do have some things in the works that I don't want to speak too much on, but I am working on a major project. Finally got all my paperwork in, got my architect, got my developer, got a lot going on. But
okay. Hey, we appreciate the snippet of the announcement. We'll announce when we announce, but the snippet announcement is just as great. We know something's coming. That's fire. And, I mean, congrats on all your endeavors and continual prayers and success for what you keep doing. And we're definitely going to make sure we support, and just happy to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Well, you take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
On any block. Hey. Wow. All right, look, we just had an amazing conversation with the one and only KG. Back at it again. We're going to bring her back out. That was her. Pop up, pop out. Now, my guy, 3 Commas, been cooking up a beat this whole time. Commas, you can hear me on that side? We good? We're going to bring you out. All right, let's bring the goat out himself. 3 Commas, come back up to the stage, good sir.
All right.
And share. You want to share your screen when you're ready?
Yeah. Can you hear me this time?
I can hear you. We heard you. Can you hear me?
That's true. I couldn't hear y'all. All right. Let's see. Switch this over. I'll share this screen. All right, can you see that?
Yeah, we about to bring the screen up, and then you know what? I'm gonna back out, and I'm gonna let you have the vibe. I'm gonna let you have it on the screen.
I can just talk about what I did real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. So, you can see the screen?
Yeah, we're gonna add it to the screen
Got
now.
you. Yeah. So I was basically they put out a new version of the program I use. So I've just been trying out different features in that. Just trying to see what I could do with it. Let me switch to that audio real quick. All right. Let's see. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So, first thing I did. Actually, you want me to just play it first?
Let's rock out first. Let's catch a vibe.
Cool. It's just a little vibe. Basically getting on loop from here.
Hey, I see you. All right. So walk us through this, man. Walk us through this record.
All right. So first thing I did, I played this little these little chords right here. So one of the cool things that they added in this is that you can like slide the notes into other notes. So these are actually two different chords, but it's like the same one. So that's how you get that like that weird kind of like right here. Right. So I took that and I recorded that and then, you know, flipped it around a little bit. Ended up with this part. And then from there, it was just building around it. So put in a little bass right here just to kind of give it that vibe. You know, once I kind of locked in the tempo. And then from there, it was, drums. It was something slight, you know.
Hey, I see the vibe. I see the vibe. Dope, man. Yo, that's fire, yo.
Appreciate it. It's funny. I was actually surprised it came out alright because I was definitely a little cramped for time at first because my audio was not working for like the first 20 minutes.
Hey, nah, man, you bounce back strong, man. We appreciate you for sure. We appreciate you. Look, we want to pull the screen down, let people see you again. And how can we support you? And what do you have coming up?
So right now, well, first of all, thanks for having me again. You know, always appreciate the support. You know, but right now I'm working on an album. It's gonna be pretty much just instrumentals. I was planning on putting it out by the end of the year. May not be the end of the year, but it won't be too far into 2021 if it's not this year. I might still pull it out. I might still finish it, you know. But I really just wanted to kind of put together a project that, you know, was kind of just me and that I can point to when someone asks me, like, what do you do? Like, what kind of music do you make? Like, really have something that encompasses all of that. And you know, it's like a passion project, and it's also like a portfolio, and it's like a resume, you know, all of that together. So, yeah.
Oh man, dope. Well, we can't wait to check it out. We'll make sure we push it, we promote it. But man, we appreciate you. Yeah, ask at the bottom for anyone that wants to support.
Yeah, you know, that's Instagram, that's Twitter, that's whatever. My website is the same thing, just .com.
Yeah, easy, man. Well, look, bro, you be great. We're gonna connect again soon in these streets. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, for sure.
All right, man, be great. All right, well, for all my creators, man, I thank you guys again for sticking with us. Good morning. I hope you guys are on your hustle like KG is, you know, or maybe up cooking up like my guy 3 Commas is. But either way, hope you're up and you're doing something as a creator because it's another day to push yourself forward. Till then, we're gonna let you guys know. This Thursday, we're going to spend some time with the fam, so we will see you all next Tuesday at 9 o'clock, same place. Guys, good morning. Stay cooking.